Hello and welcome to Nicholas Genetics Lessons, and today I have prepared two very easy questions for you. This is multiple choice questions, but I do not ask you as usual to stop video here, read the questions, choose the correct answers, because answers are very easy, but I also do not recommend you to skip the video and just check which answers are correct, because usually when answers are very easy, I'm providing excessive information, so you would be able to answer not the questions that is in the test, but many other related questions. So let's begin. The first question is: which of the following blood components provide the major defense for our bodies against invading bacteria and viruses? And here's the three answers to choose from. Answer A: red cells, answer B: white cells, and answer C: platelets. And of course, correct answer would be answer B. White cells or leukocytes would be major defense for our bodies against invading bacteria and viruses. And another name for platelets would be thrombocytes, and for red cells would be erythrocytes. And I also want to add that white cells, this is not the only component. White cells are subdivided to 5 different groups that also in their own turn subdivided to other different groups. And you may also know that platelets are served in order to stop bleeding when blood vessels are cut, for example, and red cells serve as transport for oxygen throughout our bodies. And red cells are red because they have on the surface protein that we call hemoglobin that contains ferrum, this is Latin name, or iron. And when blood is bright red, that means that blood oxygenated and has oxygen, and when oxygen is lost, the blood in veins would be dark red. But we used that most of the animals has red blood, but some of the animals, mostly insects and some invertebrates, marine creatures, may have also blue blood. And here is a picture. On the picture you may see seashore crab, and here is a blue blood extracted, and this blue blood is blue because it doesn't have hemoglobin with iron, but instead this blood has protein with cuprum, this is Latin name, or copper, that attracts oxygen, but this blood is not as effective as red blood or as hemoglobin. I would say this is about 1/4 as effective in attracting oxygen. But why this blood is extracted from seashore crabs? Not because it is blue, but because it contains some chemicals that agglutinate blood or any aqueous solution that contains some contamination in the form of bacteria or virus. 1 liter of such blood, or 1 quart, cost about $15,000, and about 500,000 of crabs would be harvested each year for this blood, but these crabs wouldn't be killed. About 30% of their blood would be extracted, and then they would be released. About 10% would die afterwards, but about 90% would survive this procedure. And this is very important. You probably even don't know, but every one of us would use this product. And if you ever got a shot or got a vaccine, that vaccine would be tested using this chemical that would agglutinate any aqueous solution containing contamination. And before this, rabbits were used in large quantities, and now it's more humane, this procedure that is much faster. And nowadays FDA requires any medicine that has label FDA approved to be tested using this chemical. So as you see, this blue blood in high demand by the farm industry, and if you graduate and would have hard time to find a job in biotech industry, now you know that you might try start a business. Once again, $50,000 per quart of this blue blood. So next question, the relatively clear liquid medium which carries the other cells of blood is called, and here is 3 answers to choose from. Answer A, lipid, B, antibody, and C, plasma. And of course the correct answer would be plasma. So lipid is just name for the fats and oils, and B, antibody, is particles that attach to the antigens and signal for the immune system of the body that there is invasion of the foreign particles and proteins. And plasma is a blood component. It is aqueous, and it contains all other major components of the blood, like platelets, white cells, and red cells. And plasma makes about 55% of the blood. And plasma, also it is called serum, about 92% is water, and 8% is sugars, proteins, hormones, and other blood components that can be found in minute quantities. One more interesting fact, that blood is almost never transfused as it is, but usually only some components of the blood are transfused. For example, if a person requires oxygen due to bleeding, most likely only red cells would be transfused, and white cells would be transfused when immune system of the person would be compromised, and he would need white cells in order to protect his body. And this also may happen after radiation and chemotherapy, when, for example, patient has a cancer, and another person may have a problem with bleeding. So whenever he has any injury, bleeding never stops, so he may only get platelets that stop bleeding. So why not the whole blood is transfused? Because there are so many proteins in the blood that some of them may trigger immune reaction. So instead of just transfusing the whole blood, only those components of the blood that is really needed would be transfused. And this is all for today. Thank you for your attention. Please subscribe for my new videos that I post almost every day. Thumbs up if you like this video. Please write your comments, questions if you have any, and see you in the next video. Goodbye.